Alright folks, let's walk through a full solution of everything, including the do now, the big idea, the exit slip, the homework, all of it. You got it right now. Let's go. Number one, lines that are coplanar but do not intersect can be described as. So if you got lines that are coplanar, what does that mean? Well, that means they lie in the same plane, right? So let me draw a plane over here. Here's my plane, and let me fill it in with some color. And let's say you have two lines here, two lines. Now, if these two lines happen not to intersect, well, the only way they can't intersect is if they're going in the same direction. And that only happens if the two lines are parallel. Okay? So that's the answer for the first question. Next one up. The intersection of two planes is, okay, well, this one can be a bit tricky, but here's the dealio. So let's say I have two planes. Here's my first plane, and let's say here's my second plane. Let me see if I can draw it nicely enough. So here's my second plane, and where they intersect, you can see this kind of these kinds of dots over here, and those dots form a line. So when two planes intersect, that forms a line. So our answer would be one line. Next question up. Line R intersects parallel planes U and V. The intersection can be described as, so let's see. We have parallel planes U and V. So what does that look like? So here's one plane, let's call that U, and here's another plane parallel to U, and let's call this plane V. Now, since they're parallel, if there's a line that's striking them and going through them, it hits U over here and it hits V over here. Well, what does it create? All this creates is 2 points. Do you see those 2 points? Yep, so that's it. Our answer is 2 points. And if you don't see why that's the case, so here's my line, and as you can imagine, my line hits the first orange plane over here, and then it hits the second blue plane over here. So my line creates 2 points, one over here, one over here. That's why the answer is going to be 2 points for number 3. Next question up. Points A, B, and C are not collinear. How many planes contain all 3 points? Okay, so points A, B, and C are not collinear. That means they don't lie on the same line. How many planes contain all 3 points? Remember, 3 points uniquely define one plane. So there's only one possible plane that can contain these 3 points, A, B, and C. So the answer to number 4 would just be one plane. So let me use the gold marking to indicate that. Next question up. In the figure of a rectangular prism, which is true? So let's check them out. The first choice is points E, H, D, and A are coplanar and collinear. So E, H, D, and A are coplanar and collinear. So here's the thing. They're coplanar, sure, because they all lie on this green plane, but are they collinear? I mean, if you try drawing a line between these 4 points, it's not gonna work. Check it out, look. If I try drawing a line over here, look, that's a curve. I can't draw a line between those 4 points. So they're not collinear. So choice A is gone. Choice 1 is gone. Next one up, HD, where is HD? That's this one. Is skew to CG. CG is this line, this line segment. And CD is perpendicular to CG. Okay, so there's so many things wrong here. Where to start? HD is not skewed to CG. Instead, it's parallel. So you see how these two lines are going in the same direction? If you continue them, it looks like they're 2 cars going on the same or on parallel lanes. So that's why this choice is wrong. Next one up. EA is perpendicular to BC. So let me clear everything here. So EA, where's EA, is perpendicular to BC. Well, I mean, they're not even touching each other, right? EA is over here, BC is over here. How can they be perpendicular? Bye-bye to choice 3. Let's see the last choice, which has to be right, but let's check it out. EA is parallel to CG. Okay, that looks good. They're going in the same direction. They're coplanar. They never intersect. And EH, so EH is this one, is skewed to FB. Yep, if you extend FB and if you extend EH, you'll notice that they never touch, right? and they're not coplanar, and they're not parallel. So the answer has to be, therefore, choice 4. Let's check out the next few questions. So, question number 1. Identify 3 segments parallel to EA. So this question I went over in the small hint. So I'm just going to go ahead and go through it real quick now. So let's check it out. So EA is this line segment. Some segments parallel to it are HD. So we can write HD, line segment HD is parallel to EA, line segment EA. We also see that GC, line segment GC is going to be parallel to line segment EA. And of course there's one more, and that's going to be FB. So line segment FB is going to be parallel to line segment EA. So those are the 3 possible, those are the 3 answers for question 1. Okay, next one up, identify 4 segments perpendicular to BC. So BC is this line segment over here. So let's see. So what are some things perpendicular to it? Well, notice how GC creates a right angle here. So we can say that GC, line segment GC is perpendicular to BC. We can also see that FB creates a perpendicular, a right angle over there. So we can write FB is perpendicular to line segment BC. Notice also how AB creates this other right angle. So AB is perpendicular to BC. And finally, line segment DC, this one, is perpendicular. DC is perpendicular to BC as well. So those are the 4 segments perpendicular. Next one up, identify 4 segments skew to HD. So HD is this line segment here. So what would be something skew to it? Well, let's see. I'm going to use this color now. So EF is skew to HD because it will never touch. They're not parallel. They're not coplanar. What else? AB is looking like it's skew to HD. Anything else? BC is skew to HD. It's not coplanar. It's not parallel. And do we have any more? To HD, yes. FG is also skew to HD. So those are the 4 possible segments skew to HD. Let me write them down. So for number 3, our possible answers are EF, line segment EF, line segment FG, line segment AB, and finally line segment BC. Okay, next one up. Identify one plane parallel to plane EFG. Okay, so where is plane EFG? Let me see. EFG. Okay, so plane EFG is this pink little plane over here. So we need to find one plane parallel to that, and that can be the bottom face of our rectangular prism. So we can write plane ADB is parallel to plane EFG. Okay, next one up. Identify 4 planes perpendicular to the plane. Okay, that's not too bad. The other 4 sides of our box are going to be perpendicular, like this face. Okay, so let's write that down. So face, so plane EF, EFA. What else? Plane EHD. What else do we have? And that's going to be perpendicular to EFG. We have EFA. What else? EHD. We can also say HDC, and finally FBC. Those are 4 possible planes perpendicular to our top plane. Basically, those are the other 4 faces of the cube. Okay, next question. We've got quite a few left, but let's try to drill through them. Which parts of the following figure are congruent? Okay, so I remember we did this question in the big hint, and remember that this angle is equal to this angle, so they're congruent. So the answer cannot not be this one, and it cannot be this one because they don't mention that angle I is congruent to angle G. Choices 2 and 3 do mention it, but notice there's a discrepancy, right? Choice 2 says HI is congruent to HG. So let's see, HI is congruent to HG, check. IF is congruent to FG, IF is congruent to FG, check. Angle I is congruent to angle G, that's what we said. And so our choice is going to be choice 2. Next one up. Ray MN, okay, we did this one. Yes. Ray MN is this little guy, and Ray JK is this little guy. And they intersect at point L. Which of the following is not true? So our answer, recall, was that points J, K, and M are not collinear because you cannot draw a line between them. See, you cannot draw a line between them. So the answer is choice 1. Next one up, for question 8, given points F, G, H, and I with no 3 of the points collinear, what is the maximum number of distinct lines that can be defined using these points? Okay, so let's say this is F, this is G, this is H, and this is I. What's the maximum number of distinct lines that can be defined using these points? Well, let's see. Well, this one is a bit hard, isn't it? We can draw a line between these two, between these two, between these two, between these two. So that's already 4 lines. Between these two, I can get one. Between these two, I can get one. That's already 6 lines. Can I get any more? I think I've exhausted it. So I'm going to set out for the answer 6, which is choice 3. Okay, next question. Lines R and S intersect at point A. Line T intersects lines R and S and points B and C respectively. Which of the following is true? So let's see. Lines R, okay, so here's line R, and here's line S, and they intersect at some point A, and line T intersects lines R and S at points B and C respectively. So let's say that this one, this little line over here, that's line T. It intersects our lines R and S at 2 points, right? At points B and points C. Okay, so it intersects line R at point B. Oh, so I gotta switch up my labels, right? So line T intersects R at point B and S at point C. Which of the following is true? Okay, so let's see. Lines R, S, and T must all be perpendicular. Well, clearly that's not the case, right? These 3 lines definitely do not look perpendicular. So that's out of the box. Lines T must be skewed to lines R and S. Well, if it was skewed, it wouldn't intersect, right? So that's wrong. Choice 3. Points A, B, and C must be collinear. Well, check it out. Can I draw a line through points A, B, and C? No, not really. So that cannot be an answer. Finally, lines R, S, and T must all be coplanar. Well, that seems reasonable. If you try drawing a plane through these lines, well, you'll see that they're coplanar. So that means our answer is going to be choice 4. Next question. If angle J is congruent to angle L, which must be true? Well, if they're congruent, their measures have to be the same. Next one up. In the triangular prism, name a segment skew to EF. So EF is this one. Skew to that might be DC. So that's one possible answer. Because DC is not coplanar, it doesn't intersect, and it's not parallel with EF. Next one up. Name 2 planes containing AB. Okay, so what 2 planes contain AB? Well, there's 2 possible answers. It could be this green plane. And what is that plane? That's plane ABC. Or it could be this plane. Okay, this kind of plane over here. And that's plane EAB. Okay, so that's for question B. Let me go ahead and indicate that. Now, last question. Name a pair of parallel planes. Okay, that's not too bad. What are some parallel planes we can see here? Well, plane FDC and plane EAB are parallel. So let's write that down. So plane FDC is parallel to plane EAB. And folks, that's the solution for the entire lesson today. Hopefully that helped you out, and good luck.